Takes the snap, short drop, hits the quarterback.
Tonight, our Bellacino's Player of the Year. We discussed regional championship weekend, and this is our final episode of the season. Welcome to After the Whistle, episode 5.13. I'm your host, Brian Moore. Gentlemen, how was your week?
Pretty good.
Real good when you don't have to go to school all week.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Early basketball practices kind of keep you in the routine of getting up early, though.
Who does basketball?
It does, right in the day, man.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right, fellas. Well, listen, we've got tonight's show. We're going to naturally go through our Region D picks and talk about those games.
We're going to have a drawing.
We're going to have a drawing, and that for a free Bellacino's pizza. And we're also going to recognize our Peak Performer of the Year and our Bellacino's Player of the Year. So we got a whole lot of stuff to unpack, so let's get straight.
And Concession of the Year.
Yes, concession stand, and this may come as a shocker to some people. All right, folks, let's get straight to the games here. We're going to start out with Graham and Gate City. Graham 61, Gate City 14. The story of the game
was blowing heavy.
What was it, like 70-6 or something?
61-14. 61-14. G-Men had 340 yards rushing. Tydres Clements had 240.
It is what it is, but hats off to Gate City. I mean, after losing the first game, everybody wrote them off, and Jeremy Housewright was playing in the region semifinals.
Well, and true. Last week was the first playoff win for Gate City in 8 years.
That's right.
And this is the first winning season that they've had since 2014. So definitely a turn of events. And after that week one game, I never would have called that.
That's right.
Yeah, I never would have seen that coming. But a couple of things about the game real quick. G-Men were all over them early on, 27-0. There was 8 minutes left in the half, and it was 27-0.
I was really impressed with Graham's defensive line. Man, they get after it.
Their offensive line really
them too.
made some noise too here the other night. Gate City had 58 yards total rushing. The Graham defense definitely showed up. Ethan Fleming usually has big nights rushing the ball, had 18 yards on 10 carries. I mean, they pretty much swarmed in and shut everything down. Fortunately, you mentioned Gate City there. Fortunately for them, they're graduating 14 seniors, but for some reason, I feel like those kids are the ones that may have laid the foundation to restore Gate City football.
They had about 60 out this year, didn't they?
Yeah,
they had a lot out.
Had good numbers, I know that. But congratulations to the G-Men on the big win there. They continue 61-14 in the region championship game, exactly where we thought they'd be at the beginning of the season. And we'll give a shout out to Jamel Floyd, who had 2 interceptions for Graham against Gate City. So we'll talk about that Graham game coming up here in just a little bit. Up next, Patrick Henry. You said PH Big. Patrick Henry 42, Holston 7.
Just playing too good right now, boys.
Well, you called that one. They had 408 yards rushing as a team. They've got 2 backs on their team. Good Speed's already got 1,200 yards rushing on the season. McPhail's over 2,100 some yards rushing already for the season. PH, the first game was a little bit tighter. PH was in the hole 10-0, but none of that happened this time around. Holston, 3 turnovers in the first half of the game, and they really took them completely out of it. Patrick Henry up 26-7 at the half. Noah Tweed with the only touchdown for the Cavs, 3-yard run. But Holston 2 years in a row win the region.
That's right.
Finish 8-4 this year. That's pretty solid 3-year run.
And starting out with 22 kids.
That's true.
And making the region semifinals.
Yeah. And Coach Akers may have found a place right there, settle in and really make some noise the next few years. So Congratulations to hosting on a good season. Congratulations to PH as they advanced to the Region D championship game. And early in the year, that's who we said would be playing in the finals. And
everybody in our area, in the Ridgeview and Graham and Grundy and PH, on paper was supposed to be here.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're here. Both of them's here.
We talked about McPhail. I mean, he had his 189, 90 yards rushing, whatever it was, 3 touchdowns. But the Goodspeed kid went over 200 in the game for PH, and Grundy's going to have to deal with that. We'll talk about that.
One of them, Goodspeed, he got banged up and missed some time, didn't he? Or
Goodspeed.
Okay, so he's back.
Yeah.
McPhail missed some last season, didn't he?
Yes.
Did he come back?
Yeah,
he
he
So Goodspeed, somebody missed some. I might be mistaken, but they're all back now.
Well, they got the running game going evidently.
Yeah.
All right, next big game here, at least locally for us, Grundy 32, Lebanon 0. Lebanon comes into this game averaging 32 points a game. Grundy blanks them. They took an 11-play drive at the start of the game, drove it down, scored, and it was pretty much all Grundy. After about the third and fourth possession, it seemed like Lebanon just didn't want anymore.
After the first one.
You know what they say, in December, November, you've got to be able to run football.
That's true.
And what's sad, Lebanon did.
Yeah.
They just didn't do it enough.
You got to be able to run the football, and I think Grundy, up front was much better than Lebanon.
Well, Grundy, I think, had 457 yards rushing. Another stellar night for them. Scammell, 118 yards rushing, and Ethan Roberts had a really good game, 120 yards rushing, only on 11 carries for Grundy. The Reese kid had it tough all night long. He'd been run down by White Bush and Logan Looney from Grundy. Just kept the heat on him, and it made it very difficult. A lot of that youth and inexperience that Lebanon did have, with those younger players that have played well all year, they got introduced to the playoffs in a rough way.
What they do is throw the ball in those conditions.
It was
I need to go back to 1995 and
not everybody can
about
throw the ball
throw it
like
in the
old
mud.
Tom Bulls.
In the
Old
mud.
Tom's gonna do it.
Ask Tell him about Brandon Davis.
How's it go?
Say old Tom
throw that
ball.
ball.
Ask
Just
Kathy.
ask Kathy.
Oh, just ask
That's what
Kathy.
Brandon said.
Big game, big win for Grundy. Grundy's in Region D championship game.
No shocker.
Yeah, we called that one too. So you called that one from the very
Yeah,
beginning.
I
I was
Well, if you go on paper and look, like I said, they're all there. The people that's in the region finals should be in the region finals. Not saying another team wasn't deserving, but
Right.
it worked out. The best teams are in there.
So we called both of these.
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah, we sure did. All right, next big game for Ridgeview, coming out party for their defense again. 42-0 over Virginia High. Cannon Hill, 4 touchdowns for the Wolfpack. Big story of this game was the defense from Ridgeview. Held Virginia High to 90 yards of total offense.
And I know their quarterback was out, but still, they got another good athlete to put back at quarterback. Ridgeview come to play, put them out early, and it was over.
Guys, they blanked people the last couple of weeks.
3 weeks in a row.
Going to come up
They played
interesting
Gate
come
City.
Friday or Saturday. When they playing?
This could be.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
This could be interesting.
Saturday.
I think Ridgeview's starting to hit that, what we were saying,
Well,
find their element.
And you listen to the Gate City game with Graham, looked like their defense was kind of clicking on all cylinders too. Pack scored on the second play of the game, 27-yard touchdown pass from Oakland to Dakota Counts, and for the most part it was
And I heard Coach Colley was calling that game.
all Ridgeview after that.
He was like, "Here we go, boys."
They get the pop ball
He goes,
cap.
"Here we go, boys,
Gravel.
man to man. Here we go. No safety in the middle field. Here comes the fade. Yep, touchdown." That's what he said.
Well, we used to kid all the time say you get the pop bottle cap and the quarter and a gravel and lay down on the ground and show them how to run the pass routes.
And he was right.
Well, nonetheless, this is 3 consecutive shutouts for the Wolfpack. They're averaging right now 37.7 points a game is what they're averaging on offense. And the last time they played Graham, this is going back to last year, they had that 14-point lead. They blew it. Graham beat them 49-21. They're already talking revenge now. They're talking revenge. So this is going to be it's set up well, guys. Graham hasn't lost a game. Ridgeview comes in, and they've got one loss, one blemish on there, so it's shaping up to be a good one. All right, next we've got a big game here that was, Coach Krieger said that he thought Nars had a chance. So George Wythe 48, Niles 28. Nars had scored 40-plus points 5 times this year. And the story of this entire game here with George Wythe was their defensive line. Their defensive line forced, 10 incompletions, 4 sacks. They had 2 interceptions. Just kept the pressure on them. The Sisk kid, Dylan Sisk, had 4 sacks in the second half for George Wythe. And big time play. This game was tied 28-all at the end of 3. And George Wythe gets touchdown, and it looked like Nars was coming back, and big hit, stripped the quarterback of the ball. Sisk kid picks up the fumble, and next thing you know, it was the green kid got the hit, caused that big fumble, and George Wythe goes and scores again, and kind of puts the game away. But for the most part, this was tight all the way. Tandem Smith scored on a 22-yard run. 9 minutes to go, and that was pretty much the difference in the game for George.
So we got George Wythe and Grayson, right?
Yeah, and George Wythe had 529 yards offense last week, so they're moving the chains fairly well there. So that's going to make for a really big matchup. Grayson County upset Galax.
First time in how many years Galax not in the region finals?
14, is it? I may be wrong. I've got some info on that here in a second. We'll go to it, but. They avenged the earlier season loss to Galax with that win, and I think it's the first time since like early 90s that Grayson County is in this position. So, and this is also a big rematch for them as well. So this ought to make for a heck of a championship weekend. All right, well that's all the games that we covered last week. Let's take a look here. And
who won the pick'em?
We're getting right to that here in a second. Buchanan Therapy Services, want to thank them for sponsoring our weekly pick'em, weekly recap, each week. Buchanan Therapy Services located in the Grundy Plaza. All right, now we got our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Year. And our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Year in 1A is Mr. Ryan Horn from Twin Springs High School. Ryan Horn, Twin Springs High School. Coach Horner
season.
Had a heck of a season running the ball. I want to congratulate him. He's our 1A Peak Performer of the Year. And now our 2A Peak Performer of the Year is Mr. Tydrez Clements from Graham High School. And his team will be playing for the Region D Championship this weekend. So I want to congratulate him for being our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Year. All right. We'll give a real quick update. Most of you may be aware of the fact that a Rural Retreat player, Mr. Aiden Buckingham, was recently diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it really shocked a lot of people and had all his family, friends, and the Rural Retreat community really, concerned and worried. And we'd like to give an update and report on him. Young man went through surgery. Everything appeared to go well, and he's in good spirits and seems to be doing well at this time. So we want to send out our continued prayers and support for Mr. Aiden Buckingham, Rural Retreat Indians, and hope.
And I think Coach Hughes had posted something of him up and walking.
Great. And if there is a GoFundMe or anything like that's been established, we're going to post it right here at the top of the screen so you can connect to it as well. All right. So we started this year, we did our Who Said It, and we had a lot of winners each week with our Who Said It, and tonight I have all of those winners' names on these pieces of paper right here, and we're going to drop them in the helmet here in just a second. Coach Krieger, if you would, I'll let you hold the helmet, and we're going to go down
the Hurley or Grundy helmet?
The Hurley helmet will be fine. All right, and we're going to
hold them up so they won't say we're cheating.
So we have here Mr. Jordan Harden. He was one of our winners.
Yeah, he got the Disney one.
Justin Brooks, one of our winners. Sharon Hurley, she also was one of our weekly winners. Michael Edwards, over at the Cove there, one of our weekly winners. Drop his name in there.
Some wins right here if something's going on.
Haley Moore, one of our weekly winners. Mr. Alex Tabor, number 1. Alex won 5 different times, so we'll drop his name
Be
at
ashamed if you
2.
don't win that.
3, 4. So his name, definitely Alex Tabor has an advantage here, but he was the one who responded the most. That's number 5. And Rochelle Palmer, her name is here as well. We're going to put all these names in the helmet. Coach Krieger's going to shake them up.
And guess who's coming to
And we're gonna
draw out, boys?
Pistol.
You all get to see the pistol.
The pistol is going to reach in and draw out the winner.
You gotta stir them up, man.
Yeah,
I
start
just
up.
did.
No, I ain't stirring them up.
What do you mean? Look, they're about to come out.
You got some little hands.
All right,
Reach
Pistol.
up our pistol.
Reach in there and pull one out, Pistol.
Dig, baby.
Lower it down.
Dig! Oh, gosh. Hurry! Let's
And
see.
the winner is, the
Oh!
odds were in his favor. Mr. Alex Tabor, you are the winner of the free pizza. I will contact you and tell you how to collect your free Bellacino's pizza. Congratulations to Mr. Alex Tabor. All right, up next we have our Bellacino's Player of the Year. Not going to give too much away about this one. We're going to go straight to the film and meet our Bellacino's Player of the Year. All right, folks, each year we recognize our Bellacino's Player of the Year. And this year's Bellacino's Player of the Year is Mr. Ian Scammell
Like
from Grady High
Groundhog
School.
Day, ain't it?
Feels like Groundhog Day all
Oh,
over
that
again.
movie.
We're going to let Coach Tester take over here.
All right, guys, we're sitting here with Mr. Scammell, who's had an awesome season for the Golden Wave. Actually, 3 seasons in a row he's won our award. So he's already rushed for over 1,800 yards and won this award 3 years in a row now. And Grundy is actually playing for a 1D region championship this weekend, and a lot of it is the reason is this guy sitting right beside of me. And Ian, I just want to talk about a little bit about your season, man, and what kind of season y'all have had and where you're standing at. And I know you got a lot of decisions to make, you know, after Saturday, and I don't want to, we'll get back to that later, but talk a little bit about your season and how important this game is coming up for y'all Saturday.
You know, the season we had a lot of high expectations coming in. You know, we were picked to be one of the favorite teams in the region, and we knew Patrick Henry was going to be tough all along. And week 1, I didn't think we played our best game, and ever since then we've been ready for this matchup, and I'm glad we're getting it.
Good deal, man. Like I said, everybody's been talking about this game, and we predicted from the start that, you know, Patrick Henry and Grundy was going to be at the top of the list in 1D. So good luck to you this weekend, man, and congratulations on this award. Coach Moore's got a couple
Yeah,
questions for you.
the first time you guys met, 28-20 score. Both teams like to run the football. What do you guys have to do different this time to avoid that same outcome?
You know, we had too many mistakes last game. First, had a few fumbles in there, a few penalties that put us back, a few first downs, and then we got to play defense better. Last game we did not tackle very good. Yet we broke too many tackles and would break off for big runs. So as long as we can gang tackle and keep their backs under control, I think we'll be
Try to contain those backs. McPhail and good speed, I think it is. Go ahead, Coach. You got one?
No, I just want to congratulate you on a great career, great season. Don't have any questions. They answered it. You know what you have to do Saturday to win the game, and I just want to wish you good luck Saturday and on in the future.
Thank you.
Same here.
I don't want to skip ahead, you know, Saturday, because I know you're just focused on Saturday, but I know he's also a 3-time state champion wrestler, and he just broke the Grundy High School single season or career rushing record and the Buchanan County career rushing record. And, you know, I know he's got a lot of options to weigh after this season's over, and I just sitting here thinking of you. I know you haven't had really time to sit down and think about it, but do you know which way you're leaning? Wrestling, football, or
Right now, I would say we're leaning football, but we'll see what the opportunities hold.
Wherever that money is, ain't it?
That's a
Come
fact.
up with that money.
well, good deal, man. Congratulations on you. Like I said, this is your 3rd time receiving this award, and couldn't give it to a better guy. And just good luck to you and the Grundy Golden Wave this weekend. Congratulations. Thank you, man.
All right, Mr. Ian Scammell, our Bellacino's
3-time.
Player of the Year. 3-time. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Congratulations to Mr. Ian Scammell, our Belsino's Player of the Year for the third time in a row. All right, each week we attempt to stump the CRIG, and this is our final Stump the CRIG attempt for the for season 5. And the way this works is we have a hermetically sealed envelope, and in this envelope we have a question, and the CRIG is going to tell us the answer. It has been hermetically sealed, placed in a bank vault for the last week, and it was delivered here by armed security in an armored truck just a few minutes ago. I have not seen the contents of this envelope, neither have you. Is that correct?
No.
All right, so here we go. Tell me the answer to the question that is in this envelope.
1 quarter dead.
1
quarter dead.
1 quarter dead. That don't even make sense.
But it's the answer.
All right, 1 quarter dead. And the question. What happens if you get scared half to death 2 times? You're 1 quarter dead. Wait a minute. Boys, I believe we've stumped him. 1 quarter dead or 1 quarter alive?
1 quarter dead.
Okay, 1 quarter dead. Think about it, you get scared half to death. You ever hear people say, I got scared half to death? Well, you'd be half dead. If you get scared half to death again,
You'd be a quarter
you'd be
dead.
a quarter dead. Or you'd
Well,
be,
you'd
a
be
quarter,
2 quarters.
you'd be a quarter alive.
So if you got scared half to death, you got another half where you can
Half of half
half.
is a quarter.
Yeah, you're right.
Once again, the CRIG has been correct. All right. 1 quarter dead. All right. Here we go. Our last and final
Bob.
question. What?
Bob.
Bob.
That's answer Bob.
Final answer.
Final. Bob.
Final answer. Well, I sound pretty certain about that.
Bob.
Bob. All right. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in a pool?
Bob.
That's
No,
wrong.
that's-
That's wrong, man.
That's true. That's just messed up.
I just answer.
You do. That's right.
I don't
You
know the
write the
question. Yeah, I don't write the question.
All right. Well, once again, for season 5, we have failed to stump the CRIG, and with that being the case, we'll give it a shot again next year with new and improved processes. We think we've got something figured out that we're finally going to get it.
No.
Nope. Well, we'll wait and see, won't we? All right. Stump the CRIG brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales. Stop by and check them out in Grundy, Virginia. All right. Usually we do our Wooden Horse Grill segment. Of course, we don't need to do our top 5 at all this week, but remind you to stop by and check out the folks at the Wooden Horse Grill in Hurley, Virginia. Food's so good, make your tongue want to slap your brains out. Right down the street from
Meat market.
the Hurley Meat Market.
Boys, and you all know what it is. You can't beat Hurley's meat.
All right, folks, here we go. Now it's time for our pigskin prognostications brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital. We're going to make our picks this week. Of course, these picks really won't have any impact on the outcome. At least it shouldn't have any impact on it. It burdens me to say this, but our winner of our pick'em this year, Coach CRIG,
Well, does it shock anybody?
with an overall record of 124-41. I had a record of 123-42. I tried last week to one-up him, and it backfired
Boys,
on me miserably.
sometimes we gotta support the local team.
But here he is talking to you. This man here's one. Got 116 right and 49 wrong.
Well, sometimes we gotta, we gotta
Just show the love.
We gotta show some people
I
love.
agree. That's how stuff I'm going to be on Thanksgiving.
All right, so congratulations, Coach Krieger, winning our pick'em. Pretty good statistics overall, actually. Coach Tester, I'll give you credit though. This past week, you was 5-0. Did pretty good. All right.
Y'all.
Huh?
4-1.
We were both 4-1.
Who'd you take?
I picked Naris. He picked Colston.
He picked Nars if I'd left things alone.
Yeah.
But I went with Holston. I went for the jugular, man. I went for it all. I knew if I got the upset with Holston, I'd end up winning this thing. But so be it.
I only get serious when it comes playoffs.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. There you go. That's the way to look at it. When the money's on the
Yeah,
line.
that's what's on
Oh
my
gosh,
mind.
my gout.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about these upcoming games here. I'm gonna give you some stats real quick and take into consideration some stuff. Yeah, we're gonna do that last. Couple of things real quick about Region D. Graham and Lunenburg Central right now, as playoffs sit, are the only two unbeaten teams in Virginia west of Charlottesville. So Graham is in a pretty unique company there. Graham, only time they've really been tested this year, 29-25 game against Bluefield. Union gave them a good game, 17-8. And Galax, 28-24, but you remember Galax it was also a Region C champion team. Ridgeview started out the season 8-0. They lost to Bluefield, the same common opponent that Graham beat, about 4 or 5. And so here we are looking at this Graham Ridgeview game. What do you guys think about it? Graham Ridgeview.
Well,
It's at Ridgeview.
I'm going to go ahead and pick it. I don't want to talk about it. Can Ridgeview win the game? They probably can, but Graham, they haven't lost in how long? And I know the law of average or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going with the G-men playing at home.
I think it's going to be a dandy.
It is. I agree.
Ridgeview's coming to play, and I think Palmer may be a little bit. He might have to take an extra shot.
Extra shot at the
So,
Patron here.
But
I think it's
again,
going to be a good one, though. Like he said, man, it's at Graham. I think Graham edges them out.
I go back to and I looked at you looked at Bluefield's score, and a lot of people look at that and say, well, Graham, only won by 4 or 5, but Graham they won. But what I'm looking at is a lot of people don't understand how big that game is as a rivalry.
Right.
And Bluefield pretty much laid it on Ridgeview. Ridgeview, that's not a big rivalry game for them. But I looked at that game and I think Graham brought it in a big rivalry game.
I think that game was good for Ridgeview because they got set back and they had to adjust some things. And
I
think that made them better, actually.
and they adjusted to the right things because they're playing good football.
Boys, you take these last 3 shutouts they had. Last 3 games have been shutouts, and Kent Grant is a heck of a defense coordinator. You go back and look at him. Go back and look at the Clintwood years. When Clintwood was there, he was defense coordinator. I think he'll have a good game plan, and I think his defense played well. I just don't know if it'll be enough. I think Graham has a few more weapons.
Well, that's my way of looking at it too.
And again, Graham's already been down 14-0 to them and come back, and they're in their mind, they know what they got to do. They know they can get down now.
Yeah.
But again, can Ridgeview win the game? Absolutely. But you can't go against a team that hadn't lost in 30 games
It's been a long time
in the region.
Well, I agree with you guys. I'm gonna pick Graham in this one. I don't care if Ridgeview's up 7 or 14 or if they get up whatever. I think Graham is resilient. They're going to come back. I think that's going to be in the back of Ridgeview's mind. And it's one of them situations where you're in a big prize fight and you keep getting a good shot in, but you just can't seem to knock them out. I think Graham's that one you can't knock out, and I think that's what Ridgeview's going to run into.
And the looking at X's and O's, I think Ridgeview's defense is going to be a game. I think here's the deal with Graham. They got the athletes. They can probably walk right up and play man to man.
Well, and
I'll
say this again and time again. A lot of teams will get into the playoffs. They have an excellent quarterback with excellent passing routes and schemes and concepts and stuff, and then somebody will lock you up, man, load the box on you hind end.
Yeah.
And if you don't have some man pass routes and stuff in there, it's going to be pretty hard on a quarterback. Now, Oakwind's already passed for over 300-some yards in the playoffs, but nothing against them. I just think Graham just got too many weapons, and in the end, they're going to come out on top.
I think Ridgeview's going to have to run the football some. I think Canaan Hill's going to have to do some stuff inside the tackles for Ridgeview to win this.
Okay. What would have to happen for Graham to lose this?
Turn the ball over.
I agree with you. It's probably the best decision.
And you know, this year's team, if they got up 14 Ridgeview, they might be a better team than they were last year, and that might be enough.
Could be.
But like I said, it just a team that's won so many games, eventually it'll happen. But I
think defense is key for Ridgeview. I don't think they can get down quick or get down early, you know, and survive.
I think a close halftime game favors Ridgeview.
Yeah.
And you know, Ridgeview might make them drive the field. If you make a team drive the field, that's a little bit different, giving up a 60-yarder, 50-yarder, 40-yarder. And Ridgeview's good enough to make them drive the field, but we'll see. I'm going to G-Men.
All right. Well, another word note here. Winner of this game is probably looking at PIGSKIN or King William, but this is not the same King William team beat Graham last year. They've lost some players, in particularly the Claiborne kid that's at Wake Forest. So
He wasn't bad.
You're looking at the potential.
Going to the finals.
Going to the finals. Whoever wins this ball game here.
I agree 100%.
All
I think
right.
that's going to be Graham.
All right, let's talk about Region C real quick. Grayson County playing at George Wythe. Grayson County's 10-2. One of their losses is to George Wythe. This is a Saturday game. Grayson County finally cut the head off the snake, Galax. That's Maroon Tide. I think it's 7 consecutive trips to the state semifinals for Galax. Blue Devils haven't been in this position since 1991, so it's a long time absent for Grayson County, to being in
Blue Devils, is that what they're
Grayson County, yeah. The last time they were here was in 91. Who's got more experience in this situation? George Wythe. I'm
going with George Wythe. Quarter, everybody's healthy. Defensive line, impressive against the narrows team that absolutely can throw the football.
I think George Wythe's defense is peaking at the right time.
Who won the game earlier, George Wythe, Grayson?
George Wythe won by 5, 27-22. And, I thought Grayson was going to win that game, and George Wythe stepped up.
I'm going to go with George Wythe also. I think they pull it out.
All right, so George Wythe across the board should be a heck of a football game to watch. All right, Region D final, Grundy at Patrick Henry. This game is going to be played at Emory and Henry, 1 o'clock on Saturday. Grundy 7-4, PH 9-3. Season opening game, 28-20. PH gets the win. Both teams are loaded with running backs. Could make for a pretty fast game where they all run the ball. Grundy passed one time last week for 4 yards.
It's going to come down to a turnover.
Boys, I think it's going to be totally different. Grundy's playing great ball right now. Defense shut out, best they've played all year. I've had them number 1 the whole time. On paper, they are the best team. Not saying that PH is not any good. They are great. PH got a good running back. Grundy's got a good running back. PH got another running back. Grundy's got another running back.
True.
PH got a great lineman. Grundy's got a great lineman. Rest on paper, I think, goes to Grundy.
Well, like the difference the last time, I say the difference, but key factor the last time, Grundy turned the ball over a couple times. They don't turn that ball over, that game's, who knows what would have happened.
That's right.
I think Patrick Henry's, here's where I'm at. I think it's a dead even match. They're a mirror of each other.
Yeah.
Both teams. I think Patrick Henry's a little bigger than they are up front. But Grundy really played them well and had a couple key, I think, mistakes in that first game. I think they go up there and knock them off. I think Grundy brings Region 1D home.
That would be been a while since that's
I'm going with
happened.
Grundy. I had them from day one. Like I said, guys, on paper, anybody would want this team. If you put the paper out there on every team, we would all pick Grundy's football team. This is the year they've been planning on. This is the year they got, and they got their chance.
Here it is.
And here it is, and Grundy should be the
No pressure.
region champion. Well,
No pressure.
Don't put any pressure on them.
boys, do what you do.
Well, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking much along the same lines as you guys, but I feel like Patrick Henry playing at home, and right now they've got a lot of momentum going their way, and I still think Grundy's defense is suspect. I know they blanked
Shut out.
I know they shut
Blanked
out
one of the
last-
best offenses in the region.
but that offense didn't run the football like PH.
You think the
does.
mud played that big of a part in it?
Well, they were playing a pass-oriented team, so I really do. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading the tea leaves wrong here, but I think Grundy goes over there and loses a heartbreaker to PH.
Here's what I think Grundy has to do. Everybody knows Scammell's going to run it 15, 20 times. Everybody knows Lloyd's going to run it 15, 20 times. I think they got to create ways to get Logan Lester the ball, number one.
Facts.
They got to give him the ball. And somehow he's going to have to be the X factor for him because I think they're going to keep keying on Scammell. I think they're going to keying on, and I'm not saying he's going to get his yards. He's probably
I'll tell you this, the middle field's going to be wide open. I can guarantee they'll
For
have
both teams.
they were going to have 11 in the box. Whoever throws it across the middle first wins the ball game.
Well, Grundy's got they got a tight end. I mean, Jonah Looney, big tall kid, got good hands. I think you're going to have to at least pass it some here in order. If Grundy, we put it this way, if Grundy passes the ball one time in this game, they will not win.
Here's the deal.
Y'all agree with me?
I don't know if PH has to pass the ball. Grundy does.
I think it's a good assessment.
Well, the big thing is they got to come up with some way to get Logan out in the flat, out in the open.
Yeah.
And he's gone. If he'll be the
Well,
fastest.
they'll put him at quarterback some.
Yeah, but that's the best place to put you. That's as a defensive coordinator. Where do you want to? You want him at quarterback. You have to move and get him the ball, hitch, slant, out.
Well, if you put him back there in a gun, you got to count for him too.
Yeah, but it's easy to box him in.
It's going to be a good one. But all right, so you got Grundy. I'm going PH in a nail biter here. May not be popular, but I'm going reading the tea leaves. We'll say this. Wish both, naturally being an alumni from Grundy High School, wish them a bunch of luck and everything. What was that? There's an elephant in the room in 1A. And it's Riverheads.
Oh yeah.
And,
I'll tell you right now, Essex is.
They could be the team.
Could be the team coming out of Region A this year.
Well, good news for everybody is next year Riverheads will be up. So at least they'll be gone from 1A.
It'll be too late.
Be too late, yeah. But we'll say this: if Grayson County, this is an important factor. If Grayson County beats George Wythe, the Region D winner will host state semifinals. Okay, that could be huge for each one of these schools.
What do you mean?
It's
Grayson
based on
County is based on your ratings.
Right now,
PH Grundy now.
So if Grayson County wins, it's coming to
Region D.
Yeah.
But if George Wythe wins, it's going to Region C.
So it'd be played at Emory.
Probably played at Emory. Yeah.
Or Galax
On turf.
on turf. They could go to Galax and play it.
All right, so that's something to just be taken
But
into
boys,
consideration.
we seen it in 1A on paper, and then on 2A on paper. The 4 best teams are playing for a championship.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the
Yeah,
same
we
thing.
called that from day one.
All right. Well, that's our picks for this week. Get out and catch one of these football games. They're going to be definitely worth the price of admission. Before we exit for season 5 here, I'm going to hand out a couple little nods to some coaches, and we want to recognize our Coach of the Year in 1A. And we got together and discussed it, and we believe that our Coach of the Year in 1A should be Mr. Gary Collier, Rye Cove War Eagles.
Emory born and Emory bred, and when we die, we'll be Emory dead. So rah rah for Emory and Henry, rah rah for Emory and Henry, rah rah for Emory, rah rah rah.
Pretty good.
Him and B.I. done a great job, boys. I'm telling you.
They did.
Coach Tetcher said I think he won the district. I mean, finished number 2.
They won the district.
Tied.
Tied. That's not part of it.
And then they went from not folding the program a year
That's
ago.
right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that,
Which they knew they was going to have a bunch of kids
Yeah.
at this point, and you can't fault. I mean, done a great job. Congratulations, Coach Collier.
Yeah, excellent job. And now our 2A Coach of the Year in our area, Gate City Blue Devils, Jeremy Housewright.
That's big,
Absolutely.
boys. I mean, had to be.
First time winning season since 2014. First playoff win in 8 years.
Boys, and then
Knocked
after
off
losing,
Union.
knocking off Union,
Yep.
and
and he had
then
some big wins there.
lost that first game, and everybody wrote them off.
Yep. So big improvements there. And we can't, without mentioning, I don't want to call it honorable mention, but we can't forget Lehigh. Boys, a heck of a job they're doing over there, getting things turned around, moving in the right direction as well.
That was a tough call between those two, but I think, House Rice did the job this year, especially after losing that first game.
The way they lost.
Yeah.
It's convincing fashion. All right, and then, of course, the most important honor that we can recognize here, concession stand. Which is the best concession stand from what we gather.
And who has the biggest staff?
Well, I mean, that's you look at the size of the staff.
The concession stand's got to be good.
Got to be good. That's true.
Can I tell it?
Go ahead.
Reach it to me.
Put it on.
The Homemaker Tigers, baby.
Beat down or more.
Concession stand of the year.
All right, they got some. Got to live up to that. Try to preserve and hang on to that for next year. The Homemaker Tigers.
I think they got it locked in for a while.
Yeah, you take a look at old Jim Horn, a couple of them fellas over there. They've eaten very healthy and very well over at Homemaker. All right. Well, does it for season 5 for us here. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. Anything else?
And guys, Lord willing, we get to do it next year. Put it in some comments. What do you want to see? What kind of sections? We could get rid of a section and you add one that y'all want. What do y'all want us to talk about? What do y'all want us to do? Up to you all.
Sounds pretty
or
good.
Or want us to do the same.
Pretty good. Don't forget to stop by and check out Belsino's here in Grundy.
That's the main thing. Just make sure they.
Make sure y'all come because they eat way too much food on these days.
Yeah. It's a good place to eat. Stop by and check it out. All right. Anything? Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that ice cubes float in a pool of their own blood. Good night.